the best. I mean, talk about a good black band. We got LeVar Burton, and we got Robert Townsend.
Robert Townsend.
Which I met Robert Townsend a couple weeks ago at a screening of The Meteor Man at UCLA, 35 millimeter print, and I've been on Robert Townsend kick for the past over the summer. I was watching Robert Townsend. I watched Hollywood Shuffle. Mm-hmm. Eventually saw The Meteor Man. Start watching The Parenthood, the show that he had on the WB with Faison Dove, and Rosario was Reagan Gomez, right?
She's so far.
So
Good Lord.
So what I loved about that show.
Crash.
So do you guys remember the Nigga Please episode?
No.
So this is the thing about Robert Townsend. Robert Townsend comes from the school of Bill Cosby, where black imagery is everything.
Okay.
So if you watched his movies, he's very much like the respectful way that black people carry themselves, etc., etc. And Parenthood was a lot like that, right? So what's his kid? The littlest kid.
Don't ask me names.
The little fat kid. The little fat kid that they had, because they had 4 children, and then they had a son, right, who was always getting in trouble. And there's an episode where he's like listening to rap music, and he comes in. And the older son is like, "Hey, did you take my sweater? I told you not to take my sweater." And he looks at him and goes, "Nigga, please." And Robert Townsend and his wife are hiding behind the counter in the kitchen.
Yeah.
And it's the whole lesson of, where did you hear that word from, son? We don't use that word in this house because that word is degrading. You know, that whole we treat ourselves with respect. And then in the 90s, TV shows always had the daughter where the father was trying to prevent her from being a hoe.
Yeah.
So Zaria, Reagan Gomez's character, was that character. So she would always try to leave the house with her belly showing,
looking good,
or some shorts on or whatever. And the shorts aren't even short. And he's like, "You're not leaving the house like that, young lady."
She's still looking good.
Yeah. You see it?
That just makes you because he knew my daughter is.
I almost want you to turn the laptop around so I can experience this. This moment. Oh yeah.
You still look great.
Easily, 100%.
And he knew
from Detroit. I didn't know she was from Detroit.
He knew. He was like, "Yo, my daughter's fine." Not in a weird, creepy way, but he's like, "I know my daughter's attractive, so I need to protect her from."
The heathens.
These good for nothing.
These wolves.
Wolves out here in these streets.
As D.L. Hughley said, a pack of niggas.
So it was always interesting. To go back and rewatch everything. Mm-hmm. And then you go to get the Meteor Man, obviously, and then he's a teacher and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And it's about helping the youth avoid gang violence and all that stuff, right? Anyway.
Do you think movies like that would thrive today?
Movies or sitcoms?
Movies, The Meteor Man.
Oh, no.
No?
No. I don't know that we have I don't know.
We ain't making classics no more. There's good movies out, but there's not movies that I would just necessarily put.
Well, go ahead, Jade. I'll say.
I mean, we had talked about it on, I think, our last episode. It's just getting back, when you look at movies like House Party, it captured everyday life.
Yeah.
And when you have those slice of life films, everybody relates to it. You get laughs, you get representation, you get that energy where I could do this every day. That's why the Real Housewives of such and such, people kind of fetish that. Oh, this is my lifestyle. This is how I should be living. That's the identifying day to day. I'm going to brunch this. I'm going to go to this resort. We're going to do this massage. Nah, I just can't see it happening.
It feels too much like Hollywood is trying so hard to make a point than it is to make good movies. Especially when it comes to because I feel like black representation is being sold back to us. Does that make sense?
It always has been.
Yeah,
it's
so
recycled.
So if I come up with an idea, because I'm not necessarily a part of any special, I'm just a dude. I'm just a dude who happens to be black, right? So if I come up with an idea, and I'm I'm from Alabama. My parents both went to Tuskegee. I grew up this way. I went to school, blah blah blah. But this is just my idea based on my black experience. There has to be some type of hook that's not just what it is.
Yeah.
It's not an everyday life. It's like, oh no, this has to be a black movie, so we have to put things in it that let people know it's some type of black experience. Right?
Yeah. Well, also it's kind of the same thing that's kind of happening in comedy. And what I feel is happening is we have gotten so used to seeing certain things that it's like sometimes we already see some things coming. So it is very important to have like that personal aspect in whatever it is that we create. Like as soon as I go up there on stage and say, hey, I dated my first white chick, then it's like, whoop, we've heard 1,000. What are you going to say that we have never heard before?
That's also going to be funny.
That's also going to be funny.
Like hilarious.
Yeah, and then it also got to be safe, and then also got to make sure you don't get canceled, and then also we have so many different things to worry about that we can't necessarily just say what's on our mind fully. Only like a handful of people can do that, and that's because they, one, ain't in this industry, and two, they are in this industry, but meaning like they don't necessarily need the industry, like a Dave Chappelle.
They're like grandfathered in.
Yeah, they're grandfathered in.
It's Dave Chappelle, the South Parks, it's all that stuff where we already know what to expect.
Yeah.
I believe it's important to give comedians comedy back. Like once you even think about the idea of censoring or canceling a comic because they said something that was funny, that was different or challenging or whatever, we've lost comedy.
I said it like this on stage a couple weeks ago. I'm like, if I said what I want to say and put it in a script form and then had it acted out, it's all good.
Perfectly.
Like
okay.
Quentin Tarantino wrote Django. He said, nigga, how many times?
8,000 times.
Yeah, 85,000 times. He wrote that.
Yes.
Read it out loud a few times. And that's nominated. That's good. Yeah. But now if he would have said that same thing on a stage like this, then it's like, oh, whoa, it's over. You can't say it. You can write it.
And all you have to do is put it with a beat.
Oh, yeah.
I can say bitch and hoe as much as I want, as long as it's in the song with a good hook and a good beat.
Yeah.
But as soon as I go on stage, like, bitches are crazy.
Whoa.
Then it's like, whoa, are you punching down on women and blah blah?
Look at
and it's
you.
like there's literally songs about murdering people and burning people alive and throwing your mama off the roof of a building and you know what I mean? And
yeah, that's fine. That's fine. No problem.
People are literally going to jail because of the lyrics that they've rapped in their songs. And then you say, okay, well, I'm obviously telling a joke. Oh no, that's words hurt.
Ooh.
Like intentionally joking.
Like, you came here to see me joke.
Like the laughs. Like find the humor.
Find the humor.
The Richard Pryors, the Eddie Murphys, the Red Foxes, the all these older comedians who led the way. Really just tested the limits and telling stories about day-to-day life and the shit that they had to go through or what they saw from their aunties, their cousins, their family members. That is funny.
Yeah.
Even Kevin Hart, you see that when he talks about his dad. And Bernie Mac did it about them damn kids. Ain't gonna be no more milk and cookies. Like, comedians have to have that liberty to be able to talk about real life and find humor in it. It's the silver lining. It's almost a quintessential element that black people bring to the culture that gets us through centuries of degradation and abuse because there's comedy, which may create hope and a sense of normalcy. And for a lot of people, it's mental health therapy.
Woo.
Like, comedy is therapeutic. To laugh. If you force yourself to laugh or watch a funny video and you've had a shitty day, you start feeling better.
Gosh.
You start watching a nigga get locked up or beat up by the police, you feel bad. Leverage the stuff that's good for good and help life. But nonetheless.
Nonetheless.
Now, I know we're here today because Five Heartbeats, your favorite movie.
That's my favorite movie,
We got
bro.
Robert Townsend. Now,
Yeah.
you have a small story, backstory, relationship. You met Robert Townsend.
Oh, yeah. Robert, one of those there's two cool comedians that I've met in my life.
Just two.
That are like the OGs, like the ones that we're talking about now. Like I met Bernie Mac. I was on the Bernie Mac show. I was just background. I wasn't like even no lines or anything. And Kalita Smith, who played Bernie Mac's wife, she sees me. What? Bro, yeah.
See, Jonathan Majors could have been there.
See, Jonathan, if you're watching this, if you learn anything.
There's options.
And back in the day, I used to have this really big afro back in the day. And I remember this is probably like 2005. So I fresh out of St. Louis. So I was wearing baggy pants with like that big buttoned up button up shirt. And I had these fake red gaiters on. And she is like, where are you from? Right. You look so country.
Yeah.
I was like, St. Louis. She's like, oh my, assistant's from St. Louis. So she brings over her assistant. And like, yeah, high school. I'm like, Hazelwood Central. She's like, oh my God, Hazelwood Central. Talking. And Bernie Mac comes out. And he's like, who's this melted milk dud y'all talking to?
No, Bernie Mac's the greatest.
And he was one of the coolest people. Like he talked to me, and remind you, I'm just an extra. He didn't have to talk to me. He's Bernie Mac, and he was just down to earth. And that's when I changed my name to Willie Mac and ode to Bernie Mac. That's where the Mac came from. And I threw an extra C in there because I started saying like Jamie Foxx got his Fox from Red Fox, and you see the number of comedians. So that was like my first real introduction to like comedy. Like I grew up. I grew up a preacher's kid, so I was really sheltered. So I didn't get to see a lot of things.
A lot of preacher's kids
a
on
lot
the
of
show.
preacher's kids coming in here, and I'm the opposite. Janae Thompson.
Oh yeah.
PK Keenan. PK.
Yeah.
Now you.
Yeah. So I was like this most of my life. Then I come out here. I end up on College Hill, and BET just like took all the blinders out, and I seen too much. Sometimes it's okay to have the blinders on. I was like, where are my blinders, God? So I'm at this BET event. It's a screening or something, and Robert Townsend comes up to me. He's like, Willie, and I was like, I'm like looking at him like, Robert, like, why you saying my name? Like, excuse me. Like, he had to excuse me. So I'm like, Willie. And I was like, yeah. He was like, is it cool if my daughters take a photo with you? They're big College Hill fans. And I'm like, of course.
Yeah.
Like, one, just yes. But two, you asked me to do it. That's a hell yeah.
Yeah.
And so after that, I saw him, like, he would bring me in for like little auditions, and you know, he was just super cool. You love a good down to earth person, man. And he was one of them. And so I went through like this whole like history on him, and that's how I started watching a bunch of his stuff, and that's when I found Five Heartbeats. That's one of those movies that I could watch all day, every day. Like if it's on, cause something about songs we can listen to over and over again. Comedy, people don't give us that leisure. Yeah. Whereas like, well, I heard your joke before, but like Diana Ross is still singing the same songs that she's been singing in the 70s.
And people sing along.
And they sing along. We got to come up with something new all the time. So I guess that's part of why I like Five Heartbeats. And when I hear choir boys sing, and just Robert Townsend played Duck, like that's just one of those movies where I could just. It's a feel-good movie.
It's a feel-good movie, and we need more feel-good movies.
Yeah.
In general, just because like. Life is hard, and we talk about mental health somewhat often here and how it shows up in film, and we'll get into it later in the segment, but like we need feel-good movies.
Yeah.
And like there's moments in representation of poverty and drug abuse and a myriad of other things that exist within our culture, but you know, you got freaking scripts and notes in closets, drawers, dressers, and under bunkers, and they literally start piecing that together, and the whole time you're just smiling, looking at the screen. we watched it again as a refresher. My wife's favorite movie, by the way, as well, loves it. She's dozed off 9:00, 9:15. Yeah. But like she will wake up when a song was on and jump straight into character. It's like she's locked in. I'm like, that's how you know you have a timeless piece.
Yeah.
Where like you can fall in and out of sleep and come in on beat.
Yeah.
Like that's magic there.
So I grew up watching The Temptations off VH1.
Absolutely.
And everybody knows that The Temptations came out after the Five Heartbeats.
Yes.
They came out like 97, 98, somewhere around there, right? So growing up on that, because we actually had the VHS miniseries we had the VHS of the miniseries. So I'll pop it now, watch it. You know, I love
Yeah.
that's what I would do. That would be my thing that I would do, right? So to finally watch the Five Heartbeats, and then you go, look how much they stole from the Five Heartbeats.
Yeah.
Which in turn is based off of like the Temptations and the Motown era and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So it's the amount of research that Robert Townsend did to really nail that era to produce something as accurate that another movie borrows your aesthetic.
It's the same vibe. When you asked me, like, what's your favorite movie? I was like, it's either Temptations or Five Heartbeats. Yeah. But I like Five Heartbeats because it's the original.
It's the original.
Yeah.
They borrowed the aesthetic.
Yeah.
So the film itself is loosely based on the lives of several different artists. So you had the Dells, the Temptations, the Four Tops, Wilson Pickett, James Brown, Frankie Lyman, Sam Cooke, several others that were encapsulated in this piece. What I love about Robert Townsend is the historical, the historian in him, where you take all these reference points and come and tell a concise, clear story that works. And like that takes skill, that takes talent, that takes time and research, not doing things on a whim. And I like methodical precision when it comes to like creation. And that's what got me there. And it always like you're flipping through the channels and you come across, you stop it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't remember the last time where I flipped through and saw it and didn't stop and finish it, no matter where it was.
My son is a music artist. I'm gonna force him to watch it with me.
You got to.
Yeah. Now as we're talking about, because it is. It's a must, bro. And like what you're saying, like to do just because I thought the Five Heartbeats were real. I didn't know they weren't real till later on in life. Yeah. It was like because I used to try to look up. I'm like Five Heartbeats. I'm like I can't find
because you saw
Five Heartbeats
because you saw the Temptations, because you saw the Four Tops in that story. They were real. Yeah. They were a personification of people.
Well, it's a testament to Robert and Keenan Ivory Wayans. Which, well, first I'll say this. The Five Heartbeats was Robert Townsend's second narrative film. He did Hollywood Shuffle. He directed Eddie Murphy Raw.
Yeah.
But that's like a concert film. But his second movie is The Five Heartbeats. And the inspiration, because, we talk a lot about Tyler Perry. And how Tyler Perry built his own studio on a grand scale. But it's like we forget that a bunch of black people came out to Hollywood in the 80s looking for a dream, and they did it.
Yeah.
Right? So it's like when we're looking at each other as black creatives, and you and I specifically as stand-up comedians, you go back and you look at these movies, and you're like, oh my God, they put like every stand-up comedian
put a lot of folks
that was working at the time in these movies.
Bro.
And Robert was just like, look, these are the people, because if you know because this is the story that if you know the story about Robert and Keenan, they got in a car together in New York and they drove from New York to LA.
Really?
I did not know that.
Yeah. So Robert was like, yo, because they were both stand-up comics, and they were like, yo, I think I want to do like the LA thing. And then Keenan's like, I'll come pick you up.
Let's go.
So they got in a car, New York City, drove all the way to LA. They got odd jobs. And then they were doing like the little acting thing. And then Robert was like, yo, I think I want to I'm tired of being the butler or the slave or like the guy in the Coolie High guy. I'm tired of all those roles. We should just do something. Boom. They got together and wrote Hollywood Shuffle. right? So now we get to the Five Heartbeats. They have a studio behind them now. They have 20th Century Fox behind them now. Real money. Like when you watch the movie, I mean, Hollywood Shuffle is great, but when you watch the Five Heartbeats, you're looking at real money on the screen.
Production, right?
Yeah.
Right? So Robert Townsend, Keenan Ivory Wayne's screenplay, right? I
didn't know Keenan Ivory Wayans was a part of it.
He wrote the script.
Yeah, he wrote the script with Robert. It was back in the day. It used to be Robert, Keenan, and Eddie.
Ooh.
And they were like, let's do something. They were all like, let's do something. And Eddie, people don't give, this is kind of a side note, but people don't give Eddie Murphy a lot of credit. Eddie Murphy put that whole generation on.
Yeah.
Because Eddie was already like in, and he would go around like finding young talent. He'd be like, oh yeah, you guys come to LA, hang out with me.
I saw that in the Chris Rock and Kevin Hart documentary that's on Netflix.
Yeah.
Chris said the exact.
because Chris is like, oh, Eddie was like, and Eddie, I remember at this time, Eddie was like 20, 21. And he's like, oh, you a comic too? Come to LA with me. I'm doing this movie called Beverly Hills Cop. And so this whole generation just exploded. Like this graduating class is just coming out, right? And Living Color, blah, 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 all that stuff. So when we get to the Five Heartbeats, the fact that these young men are writing a movie, I don't know. Like Robert Townsend movies actually make me like emotional a little bit because they have like the funny and then they have the touching moments and all that stuff.
There's a message in them.
Yeah.
There's a message, and like you start seeing that with creative. I mean, Tyler Perry. When I was watching it, I saw a lot of similarity, a lot of parallels with just the structure from the Medea films. All right, we got entertainment, we got the church scene, like when they went to the church and Robert comes to visit, and then see Eddie in the choir, like that whole there's a message in that church, and then that reconciliation, we're back together, we're family. It was that same plot kind of setup of feel good family culture. While we done aired out the dirty laundry, we done did all the glitz and glamour. We come through the struggle, we mature, we find God, we find some type of salvation, some peace and harmony. Now we're set off to the promised land. And like that structure works because it relates to so many black people across. I mean, just it's a great story in general.
So as far as how the movie's done, I like how they don't use a lot of exposition.
I don't know what exposition means.
So exposition is basically when there's either a narrator or a character explaining what the plot is.
Got it.
So you know when you watch like a Mission Impossible movie, they have that part where Tom Cruise comes in and they say, "Okay, guys, we
Here's
gotta
the mission.
we gotta go, and this is the mission and stuff." So that's exposition.
Got it.
So instead of taking 5 minutes to explain who the Five Heartbeats are, what each character is, just the way that the movie just opens is you start seeing everything. So in that opening scene where they're doing a talent show for the first time. And by the way, John Witherspoon was getting work.
Everything.
Hey,
John Witherspoon was getting work,
bro.
Everything, bro.
The host of the talent show. He's the DJ on the radio station. Like he's working, bro. He's working.
The first 3 episodes of this podcast, everything we've talked about
had Spoon in it,
except with Blackula, but everything had John Witherspoon in it, right? So this dude was working, right?
Yeah.
So he's the MC of the talent show, and I just like how they introduced each character without telling you who they were.
Yeah.
Because you had
that's true.
because remember this is how they did it. They had Harry Lennox. I forget what's his name. What was his name in the movie? He
was the one with the dope deep voice. Yeah, Dresser. That's right. So Dresser is with his wife. So already we know this guy. This is the responsible one. Leon JT is looking up women's skirts. Yeah.
During the thing. So this guy's the womanizer.
Yeah.
Robert Duck. He's in a closet writing on the back of napkins.
Yeah.
He's the songwriter.
He's the creative.
Yeah.
And then already JT's already hooking up with the chick on the thing, and then they have that thing where he knocks on the
call and response,
wall, and he gets a call and response. So you can well, they're obviously either close friends or brothers. We don't know what it is, but they have this thing where they understand each other, right? Then it cuts to
Choir boy.
choir boy who has the Bible. So that's the opening scene. It's Harry Lennox with his wife. Then it's choir boy clutching the Bible.
Yeah.
So you don't even have to tell us who he is.
Got it.
Then you have God, why am I losing the name? The
Duck, not Duck.
Michael Wright,
Eddie Kane.
Yeah.
He's already in some mess where he's playing cards.
Poker.
He's playing
Gotta jump out
with
the way.
gangsters, and they already knew he was cheating because they were pulling the guns out even before he even.
Nigga. Yeah.
So that if anybody wants to write scripts or make movies, this is a master class on how you introduce characters.
Yep.
Without even telling us who they are.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Because the lazy way to me is to have a narration like, this is Duck and he blah blah blah. It's like, no, show me what they're doing because I need to see what I'm getting myself into.
It's actual storytelling.
It's story. Yeah, exactly.
That's the bottom line, and that's what we're looking for.
And then they crash together to do the song.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I ain't got nothing but love for you, baby.
I got nothing but love for you,
I can't sing,
baby.
I can't sing either, but that's one of my
That's
karaoke songs that they have it.
Yeah.
You go to.
Yeah.
Actually, that's gonna be a banger. I'm adding that to the list.
Then once the music like the dude the pianist messed up the music
Get out of here.
Yeah, when they went to Detroit.
Yeah,
That's
then
my music.
They said, let's do it like we did it in the subway, guys.
So before we get to that, I like the part, again, no exposition. They meet the manager. They're at the diner. Then they do that thing where, talk to the girl for me, and then I can get the girl right.
Yeah.
Now it works for Leon because Leon is conservatively good looking.
Yeah.
It's easy for a girl to look at Leon and be like, yeah, I like him. Robert Townsend, he needs to learn how to talk to girls.
Little corner type, laid back, but like works.
Yeah, he gets women, but he can't get it the same. Like
he gets women in the office.
Yeah, he's not. He's not knocking draws. No panties flying on stage for him. But if you meet at Starbucks or a nice little poetry lounge, he's in.
See, it would be like if Willie Mack and I was hanging out. See, it would work for Willie Mack, but I gotta talk. I gotta say something.
That's hilarious.
I have to say something interesting.
Yeah.
That's why if I do any dating apps or anything, when I was on dating apps, I wasn't liking pictures. I was answering the questions that they had.
Oh my God.
The strategy.
With something clever. With something clever. They'll be like, if you give me your idea for the first date, then I would say something outlandish. And that they would have to swipe right on me and then respond.
That's funny.
So I'm the type. So that's kind of the relationship. You look at Will with his chiseled jaw and earrings and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. But me, I gotta be like, it's
the glass push up.
Once you hit this, so this pisses me off. I'm gonna tell you this. So I didn't always wear glasses. As I got older, I realized I was squinting a little bit. Had to put some glasses on. But now, like, I'm a sweater, and apparently, when this gets moist, these things go down here. There's nothing worse than your glasses like sliding and/or sitting crooked.
Oh,
bro! I look at pictures. I said nobody told me my glasses were twisted up.
Yeah, that happens.
You gotta get a couple more honest friends in your friend group to tell you.
It's terrible. Like, I occasionally just check. Is my shit level?
Glasses can ruin anything because I have another pair that are like bigger.
No.
And so when I have my big glasses on, these are my outdoor glasses, by the way. When I'm at home working, I got these big old glasses on because at the time I thought they were cool.
Okay.
So when I look at them in
like the Jalen Rose style thick boys, or like they like the what are they called?
They're a little bit bigger than the Dwayne Wayne ones off A Different World. A little bit bigger.
Right.
So they're circle, but they're a little bigger, right? And my face has gotten a little smaller, so now they're like this. So when I look at myself, I'm like, God damn.
Bifocals is the word I was thinking.
Yeah, I'm like, God
like
damn.
a praying man's.
I was like, I wouldn't fuck me. You know what I mean? So you're right. Glasses, they can make a difference. They can. You gotta have stylish glasses.
And Robert's a glass wearer too. Robert Townsend, was he wearing glasses in that damn movie?
When he got older.
Yeah.
When he got older.
So when he was younger, but he was so Robert Townsend's character is basically, and this is why I say like it relates to. I'm using us as an example because I'm more of a screenwriter.
Yeah.
Like, I'm hilarious on stage and stuff, but, like, you look at me, and when I'm like, I write scripts, you're like, of course you do.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah, you did.
So when it comes...
I told you all.
Yeah.
So when it's like the Robert Townsend, he looks like the songwriter. Like, you're like, yeah, you write the music, you manage the band, or you write the check. Like, you do something, because you're not...
You're not the talent person.
You're not the talent.
You're not the features.
You're a part of the band, but you ain't like, we ain't coming up to you after the show. You know what I mean?
Here's the thing. I really thought music is by far why this movie went so far. It drove the entire thing. So like every time I watch it or post like Kings of Comedy, I'm thinking of him like one mic. 40 niggas on the stage, one mic, and you saw that with the previous group. The lead singer had his, but the backup singer they shared that one mic. They hit their step, boom, boom, back to that one mic. Thought it was fantastic. And then there were so many parallels where I saw like what happened with the 5 Heartbeats showing up in films down the road. The biggest one was Choir Boy. And when he comes out off the corner and hit that high note, I immediately thought Sister Act 2 with when he was singing "Oh Happy Day."
Yeah.
I was like, yo, they took that. That's it. Like that parallel was Ryan Toby was on the Sister Act. I was just like, look at that right there. And then go ahead.
No, I saw that Ryan Toby was telling that story about how he wrote that song for Usher, "Superstar." He not just wrote it, even the.
And sang it.
He said he told Usher how to do all that. Usher did the whole thing.
Believe that.
I was like, oh snap, that's an interesting fact.
Talent. But for some reason, all the singing groups, the groups, the bands, always had an issue with a manager.
Yeah.
Whether it was Ray and his band or the Temptations, we had the 5 Heartbeats showing up here, the Dreamgirls movie. Everybody got an issue with the damn managers stealing the money, manipulating, hustling them, crazy deals. Like,
But the thing about it is, in this movie, their manager was actually, I thought he was a good manager.
Until they got fired and Big Red came in.
Big Red snatched him. Big Red, that was he bullied that. He Suge Knighted him. That's
So in the diner scene, that's when they're approached by the guy, right? They're approached by
the good manager.
The good manager, whose name was.
Oh yeah, I don't remember.
His name was
John Canada, Terrell, Flash.
No, that was
Jimmy
Flash.
Potter.
Jimmy Potter. So Jimmy,
Yeah.
right? Yeah, that's right. I have it written down. So Jimmy. So we got Jimmy, who approached him in the restaurant. They all came. So Chuck Patterson played Jimmy.
Yeah.
Diane Carroll.
Classic. Fine. Like, she's fine.
Diane Carroll played his wife, Eleanor, right?
Yeah.
And again, not giving a lot of exposition away, he brings him to the house. He says, yeah, I'm going to manage her. And his wife comes in. And she's like...
Yeah.
And again, this is the foreshadow. If you've seen the movie before... And then you go back and watch that scene. She knew, so she's like, "Look, it almost destroyed our marriage.
Yeah,
you almost got hurt last time.
Yeah,
the guys, we almost lost the house. You whatever, right? Like this world is dangerous. Like you should not, get involved with these boys." Right? And he's like, "Nah, baby, like one last time. Famous last words.
Always.
One last time. Just give me one more chance. My one last hurrah." Right? So for a while they're good. And again, he goes, "Look, I'll get you guys back to that talent show, but if you lose, I'll give you the $100 myself." Right?
Yeah.
And then it cuts to the next scene and he's like paying him out and all that stuff. And then was that when Big Red
was at the talent show.
That was in Detroit. My bad. That's at the competition in Detroit because they go back to the John Witherspoon talent show, and then he pays him back, and then somebody. Was it the white who was it that came? Someone came. Oh, the owner of the club.
Okay.
The owner of the club wanted to, but they never showed the owner of the club. The owner of the club wanted to give them a contract. That's what it was. The owner of the club wanted to give them a contract to perform more, and then I think from there, that's when they got to do the showcase in Detroit.
Yeah.
And so they go through the whole thing where they're like, okay, you guys are about to be on the big stage and stuff. And one of my favorite scenes is when they meet Sarge, the dancer. So
Sarge.
So this is what I love about. So he comes in and he goes, all right, guys, I'm this, this is Sarge. He's going to help you guys get to the dance steps. And of course, Harry Lennox fucking what's his name?
He's like, but I do the dresser.
He's freaking out.
Yeah, dresser.
He's like, but
Dresser's
I do
freaking
the
out.
choreography, man. What's up with that?
And he really thinks, and the thing about it is, Dresser really thinks he
got the stuff.
yeah, he really thinks he tells you, like, hey man, I'm what's up? And this short guy, he's like, what the fuck are you? He goes, show me what you got, and if you're amazing, I'll back off.
Yeah, I got you. Ooh, So hit the boom, bam.
At that point,
snap,
you knew he fucked up because he's like, you're doing too much.
Ooh,
He was
full,
grooving
full,
though. Get
spin,
yourself.
He's like
bam.
a split too.
His split was about as bad as yours.
Yeah, man.
They're like, yeah,
All right, here we go.
yeah.
Hey,
Slide with some skin, scat cat.
Hold my cane.
Oh my
He Sarge was like, boo, like when he was done.
Bro, that hold my
Let me
cane
grab that.
gets me every time.
You can tell by his shirt that he's about to do something. He needs all the
You can tell by the
there.
conk in his hair that he's about to do something.
So just for context, Harold Nicholas is Sarge, and him and his brother actually are known for their like crazy performance with Cab Calloway. Fantastic dancers.
Well,
like,
you know what's funny? That when I was watching the movie, that's a note I wrote down.
Yeah.
Because Sarge comes from the days of Cab Calloway.
Yeah.
He comes from the days of
the whole big band there.
old school, young Sammy Davis Jr.
Oh yeah.
Man, they were so young in this, bro.
Bill Bojangles Robinson.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So he's coming from the old school. To him, when Dresser's like, well, this is the stuff I got. He's like, but you ain't Cab Calloway.
Yeah.
You ain't hot.
You ain't Bojangles Robinson.
Nah,
you
not
ain't
at all.
Sammy Davis Jr.
Yeah.
He's like, those niggas are my friends. That's like where he
Yeah.
was coming from. He's like, I used to fuck with them. You understand what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
I do this.
Yeah, exactly. So he's like, look, if you guys, and because the way I see that and how it parallels today, it's like when you're doing like social media, when you're doing comedy, social media or whatever, right? You're like, yeah, I'm going to put a video on Instagram, right? But then when someone that does it comes in, they're like, no, this is what keeps people's attention. This is what people like, right? So when he was like talking to Dresser, he's like, yo, you're doing too. As soon as Dresser went like this, and I already knew. He was like, yo, you doing too much.
But
Like this.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I think Dresser did it though, man.
It wasn't bad.
It wasn't.
It wasn't bad.
Like Dresser did his thing. The only thing that Major or Sarge really had on, like he knew how to tap dance. Like he knew more foot stuff. Like he was doing some
Little hand job.
Yeah, he was. I saw the little boxing moves, but no, I saw Dresser. Dresser had the little. He was smooth
He
with
wasn't
it.
bad.
Yeah, he
bro.
wasn't
they were
bad.
hitting it, man. But Harry Lennox needs credit too. So I mean, like, fantastic actor,
Easy.
like really, really good. Loved him in Ray, Blacklist, he was in Soft the Yard, like some good
Hits.
long-standing stuff. So I mean, he's been doing this for a long time now. Like, he definitely needs to go up on kind of like the Mount Rushmore, which would be really, really large for great black actors. So very, very large. But wanted to make sure he got some cream on there. The other thing this scene reminded me, so I'm a Cosby fan. I mean, we grew up on Cosby. Like, it reminded me of that scene, Challenge.
Oh,
when Bill was and then dancing, I was like, oh, this is so perfect. And again, more parallels showing up down the line. It's just like, man, like, it had to be intentional for these things to happen. I just can't imagine that it's coincidence. But like these moments, these nuggets, these gems, I think just this showed up continuously.
Yeah.
Oh, this is like my favorite scene.
Oh,
bro.
wait.
Actually, is this a talent show scene?
Yeah, it's a talent show. But there was also, we have the scene where he actually wrote the song, right? No, that was for the record. Okay, I'm getting it mixed up.
So I wonder, did Robert write the songs in the movie, or did they hire like a songwriter? Because these songs sound like actual songs.
I don't know. The songs are really. I mean, I don't want to take it away from Robert and Keenan, but the songs, I don't know.
Yeah, no, they're.
I'm gonna find out.
I don't remember because I don't remember. I watch all the credits. I don't remember anything in the credits where it's like songs by.
Not learn that it don't
take much to break. It's not like that's some real lyrics, bro. Like I see some shows and some movies, and you see the songs or the raps or whatever they do in it, and you know it was just meant for the movie. It was just meant for the TV show. These are comparable to with some shit that Smokey might have wrote.
Well, they don't have.
That just adds to their genius, because then what that does is not only are they getting money from the movie and just that, they're also getting money from just like the publishing,
the royalties, and the soundtrack and stuff.
God,
but I mean, again, that's the point.
Yeah. So he did not write these.
He did not. Who wrote?
There's several people, but he did not write them.
Okay.
They were just performed by the.
Well, he also acted like he was writing them in the movie.
Well, he did a great job on that too. Yeah.
So we haven't finished yet the scene that we'll look at later when they were writing the song in the room. Trina Clark, Gary Prim, Heart of the House of Love. Was produced by George Duke, written by Tristan Sagerson, David Sagerson. These sound like white folks. Bob Field Jr. What's some other ones? But Nothing But Love was Mark Scola.
Now,
Dave
did they
Shaw.
really sing?
No.
Okay.
You can tell in the movie.
I couldn't.
No,
there was some bad lips.
You could tell it was all ADR.
Okay.
When they were singing. Yeah.
Well, give us the scene. What we got? Is this a talent show?
So then they go to Detroit. So this is when it started really. It took me back to my days of doing like stand up. When I first started doing stand up.
Where'd you start?
Well, I started in Pennsylvania. I started in Williamsport, then moved to Philly. Then when I got extremely serious about it, then I started doing Philly, Jersey, and New York.
Okay.
And I eventually did Amateur Night at the Apollo. I did Amateur Night at the Apollo twice. I got booed the first time. So this scene, when they go to Detroit, and kind of what really got me thinking about it was, when Bird and the band were going on, and basically he had them sabotaged.
Yeah, right.
And early on, I've had MCs and show hosts like try to sabotage me before I go on stage, because it's all about like the shit they say.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Purposely sabotage, or like
it could have been accident, or it could have been because there's been a few showrunners that don't really like me too much. In my past, so especially when you're like a newer comic or whatever. So they'll say something like messed up before you come on stage, and then you have to dig yourself out of that hole because it's already the perception that people have. I've been there. So basically, he's like, "Yo, my man, my cousin runs the house, and he hosts the show or whatever, right?" So first you have him say, "Well, the house band plays everything." Mm-hmm. And the house band played it all slow and stuff. And it's like, that was on purpose, right?
Right.
But even before they came out, the MC goes, they said they're better than the Birds and the Falcons and the Temptations. And they're in Detroit.
Yeah. And black folks, we're going to boo.
Oh, yeah. Boo. There's one thing we going to do.
And they also said Barry Gordy's mama's ugly. Yeah. It's like, how you going to be in Detroit and say that shit, right? So it brought me back. I'm like, oh, this has happened to me before when I've done stand-up, So they go out. And they're being booed. And the thing about it is, what's interesting about this scene, too, it also emphasizes how... Oh, wait, is it playing? Okay, here we go. It also emphasizes how black women can be the best audience members
Uh-huh.
and also the worst
Yeah.
audience members, right? So there's a light skinned girl in the front.
Oh, I would
This is
loved it
definitely-
when
this is
she
my favorite
started squirming.
Yeah, but there's a scene of her where she's literally like go home and all that
Yeah,
stuff, and I'm like,
yeah.
oh shit, this is Amateur Night at the Apollo all over again,
Very much so.
right? And
Praise Jesus. There's so many church
I
references in
love
here.
it.
He when he knocks the dude off the piano, he goes straight into that stride piano
Yeah.
and starts turning it up after.
I got chills right
Yeah.
now.
see, okay, those are the ladies that support them. See,
Yeah.
see, look how quick she changed.
Uh-huh. That squirm right there.
It's a deluge.
It's a done deal.
It's a deluge down there.
Yeah. Let's
The
do
crazy
how we
thing
did it
is,
in
I
there.
tried singing like this to my wife.
Yeah.
This was not the response that happened.
She didn't
And
squirm.
I gave it my all. I mean, like, she's over here, pelvis thrusting in here.
Yeah.
And while he's singing, and then, like, next thing you know, her ass is passed out.
Oh,
fucking
she was-
getting fanned. I tried to sing it to my wife. She was like, oh, you was singing something? I'm like, really?
Yeah.
It did nothing for you, huh? I'm like, damn.
She's like, Tyson, get him.
Even the dudes was like, oh, these niggas is good. I just know, like, for one thing, is going to a concert, you cannot get a front row seat with your woman at a concert.
No, I would never.
It is, you are destined
Ooh,
to fail.
right there. That's the
Boom,
move.
gone.
Hey, get your girl.
And he didn't even really
Hey.
kiss her because her mouth was open.
Get your girl.
See, and there's Big Red.
Big Red.
Big Red and his crooked ass smile, figuratively and literally. With them with those Radio Shack mics, those are sure mics, those old school mics.
You know what else I liked about movies like this? And this is a little colorism, and I'm not proud of it. But it really put dark people on a good light. Like, there's a lot of movies that make dark people look like Tyler Perry movies. The dark-skinned dude is usually the bad guy in all of those type of movies.
I mean, it goes back to, what was it, Birth of a Nation, all of those films, dating back forever, that you see this representation of the big barbaric, gorilla, ape-like, unhuman, and like you got gentlemen that are singing, they are romancing and living life, and it's always like movies like this allow for representation to exist.
Yeah.
And the more Rwanas and Princess Frogs and Aladdins and these types of movies that we see where us, our children, our friends, our cousins see themselves there, you feel like you can identify, and representation always will matter. It's important, and the more you see this, like, these dudes are smooth.
Yeah.
The women liked them. It was cool to be black.
Well, the movies I'm going to make are going to be bald-headed niggas with glasses and beards.
Getting all the women.
With swag.
Getting
all
all
the
the
swag that be getting all the women for no reason. But anyway, what are you
I
saying?
wonder what she looks like now.
Cold, probably.
Yeah. I wonder what she look like now.
Man, there
But
ain't too many people from here that's missed, but I'll find a picture.
But I was thinking, like, what needs to be done to make a movie like this nowadays? Is it even possible to make another 5 Heartbeats? Because, like, music has changed so much. Like, at this time, now I could be completely wrong. This is also my limited black movie knowledge, but black movies in this era were there was a lot of hood movies, or a lot of not over the top, but a lot of over the top comedy movies. Then we had some where you might have got like a John Q or some of those type of movies. But this was, like, for me personally, one of the few just like black movies that wasn't hood. It wasn't this. It was very like how we were saying earlier. It was like a everyday day of the life slice of
life.
This was it for me. Like I felt represented by a piece of every one of these characters.
I think independently it can be done. I think because I just saw a movie called American Fiction with Jeffrey Wright. Have you seen that?
I was at the screening.
Yeah.
This was so good.
Yeah, I went to a screening too, and for me, that's my favorite film of the year because again,
Easily.
I can see myself in it.
Yep.
I relate to it. But the question is, how are we going to vote with our pocketbook? That's the question. Because if we're going by, I feel like Hollywood is trying to use an excuse not to make black movies. Mm-hmm. So every time that we don't support, then that it takes it off the table a little bit. And that's kind of why I'm like, yo, I'm down for doing it independently.
Yeah.
Getting some funding because you could do the film festival circuit, like what American Fiction did, because American Fiction was independent.
Yeah, that's such a good
and then you
movie.
Get it,
if you haven't seen it, you should.
And then it ends up getting picked up.
Yeah,
I think we have to take our narrative back. To be honest with you, like back in the day, like I said, we're a bunch of black comedians in LA. Why aren't we making movies together? Why are we waiting? Why are we waiting for? Because we have a few. I mean, we have like Heartbeat Productions. We have LeBron James. Spring Hill, we have BET, we have Tubi, which is not easy to sell to Tubi anymore.
Really?
Yeah. We have Macro, So we have entities. I mean, we have Dangerously Awkward.
Yeah.
We have entities that are out there, but at the same time, too, I think it's going to take some of us to take it upon ourselves rather than to wait to be given the chance. I mean, you kind of have to get aggressive with that at this point because trying to assimilate has kind of gotten us stuck in a what can we do? What can't we? Because someone's always going to say someone can say no.
Right.
The difference. The only thing standing in my way of getting this movie done is someone saying yes or no. That's a very scary place to be.
That's a very scary to be just one yes away.
You know what I mean? Just one person like nope, and then that's it, and then you have to put it away, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, I think it could definitely be done. I mean, like Robert Townsend did independently. He maxed out his credit cards to do Hollywood Shuffle.
And those, we've seen those stories how they shot it guerrilla, but even those were different times. There wasn't as. It's easier to make movies these days because of like you can make a movie on your phone damn near, and just like we got these little things that can make a whole whatever. But at the same time,
But it's not easier to write. The ability to write a good story is the same, and that's where that's
where you lose.
That's where we lose because
get the story.
Because what's happening is they're getting the equipment, but they're not getting the know-how to know what makes a good story. Like I went to a film festival. I made a short film, and we got into a film festival, and they had features there. And some of the features were literally people that were able to get the money to make the feature, but the story wasn't all there. I remember and this was in Newark, New Jersey. I remember the first opening night film. We got this movie made, and the guy got on stage. He's like, "Yeah, man, I'm down in Atlanta doing my thing. You know, I'm a big producer. I'm a big deal in Atlanta. Blah blah blah. I hope you enjoyed the movie." The way these people roasted this movie.
Ooh.
The director left.
Yeah.
Mid-screening because everyone was roasting this. They're like,
That's hilarious.
And then afterwards, the guy that ran the festival made the director come on stage when the movie was over.
You got to come on.
He's like, yeah, you need to come on.
This your shit.
Yeah, you need to come up here and answer questions or something.
Bro, you don't have to say something.
Apologize.
You don't have to say something.
Because we all sat through it. Like, you can't just leave.
Here we are. What were you thinking? Hey, talk to us.
That's the first question.
You're on. Tell us about how we got here.
So I mean, that's why we talk about this all the time. That's why it takes me a while to write, because I'm like, yo, I gotta break the story.
You got to think.
Yeah.
And thinking is, to me, like, it's one of the things that I'm concerned from a cultural standpoint. We're not very progressive thinkers. Just one, reading and understanding history, learning different skills and tools, and then how that shows up into our artistry and our representation. We have to learn more. But everybody just wakes up with fucking opinions and think that you can just fly off the cuff and just be great. And if you look at anybody who's good, has spent 10, 15, 20 years working on their craft, practicing, researching, studying, learning how to do this. And like there's Instagram, YouTube has created so many overnight celebrities of garbage content that provides validation for people who lack talent. Yeah. And that doesn't fit every mold. There's several people. You look at Issa Rae, she started on YouTube, fantastic work that shows out here. But again, how long was she on YouTube working on this before things matriculated into greatness, right? But like, there's too many people who wake up, hey, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that, without doing any due diligence, research, looking at anything. They just think they're hot. And they're not. And like, that for me is really, really tough when there's no respect on learning.
Well, I mean, that's what we're kind of going through in the comedy game right now too, because it's not that we are hating on any of our. I'm not hating on any of our
right,
because it's not us. People keep trying to like blame the comics. It's not us. It's a little bit of it's a system.
It's definitely the system.
It's a little bit of the system because I just know all the no's I've gotten and all that stuff. I mean, you have the ability to say no. You know what I mean? Like, it's like when you talk to a girl and she's like, "Oh, I slept with so and so. I had no idea. I couldn't control myself." You said no to me.
Yeah.
You have the ability.
You've been here before.
Yeah, you have the ability to say no. I know you have the ability to say no. So you can't tell me, "Oh, I made a mistake because I just couldn't." No, you say,
yeah.
You know when you want to say no, right? So it's kind of the same thing where it's like, you know, it's when they don't see dollar signs, then they go, "Well, you need to work on this and you need to do this and it takes years to do this and you need to do." But if they see money, they're like, "I'm right away."
I tell people that all the time. Like, comedy is, I mean, being funny helps, but it's a likability game.
Yeah.
And it's what you're saying. It's like, what can we do with this person? I can see. Okay, yeah, no, that they got next. But I'm like, I'm gonna just say his name. Henry Coleman is one of the funniest comics.
Henry Coleman is hilarious. Shout out to Henry Coleman.
Hilarious, but he ain't likable. That's my boy, and he knows this about himself.
And the fact that he's unlikable is what makes him funny. And he's like, yeah, let's talk about Lizzo. Like that'd be his shows and stuff. And people are just like, yeah, but that's not.
He don't give two whole damn.
That's not hip hop. You can't like say that. And it's like
he'd be like, and then you get somebody over here that's all right, but everybody's like, "Oh, I can eat dinner with him. I could go to lunch with him. Let's make him the person And then comedy is also harder because, like, in the 90s, I feel like almost every comedian, especially black ones, had a sitcom. Yeah, you had the Steve Harvey show.
As a result of their due diligence. I mean, those guys were working for a long time. Jump right into a sitcom, but folks think, all right, I can do this on a video. Now I need a TV show. Yeah. Get out of here, dude.
No, but I'm saying even now, there's no black folks getting sitcoms. Like, we kind of had it in Blackish a little bit. I mean, Anthony Anderson, Gerard Carmichael show.
Yeah.
But like, even right now, I can't give you 5 black sitcoms that star
traditional sitcoms
just to have
Family
comedians
Reunion on Netflix. With what's the Wanda Sykes one with
the Upshaws?
The Upshaws.
The Upshaws.
What else is on there? Those are probably reruns.
Tyler Perry's The House of Pain.
Yeah, The House of Pain.
Tyler Perry.
Them Johns on there.
Tyler Perry's Sisters.
When in doubt, go with Tyler Perry. Oh, yeah.
Tyler Perry's Bruh.
BT has some good content. I'm going to say, BT's got some good content that came out.
The Michael Blackson Show.
No.
There's a Michael Blackson show?
On BET Plus.
I didn't
even know
that.
The Show. On BET Plus.
That one I didn't know.
BET again.
And
I haven't watched BET since I was on there.
And I'm not saying that to discredit what you're saying, but it's
but
like
they are fewer and far.
But they're all on
network.
BET.
Yeah,
and less
ABC,
sustainable.
CBS, Fox, NBC. Yeah.
So they look at you the way that Big Red looked at the 5 Harpies with that crooked ass smile. So here's the scene after the Detroit show where they try to pull the thing again. They try to pull the whole. They try to pull the whole
1-2 combo.
Yeah, 1-2, come talk. So
Tag
then he
team.
goes and she's like, he's basically like, "Oh, my brother's a loser."
Yeah.
Because he's trying to get down. He's like, look at my brother over there. Yeah, he's a loser. And she's like, yeah, you know what? He is kind of dumb.
Look at the little look on his
Look at him.
before duck lips became popular.
Here I go. Just kidding.
Look at him. He's like, oh, right. Thank you very much.
Well, he swerved the L real fast, though.
He's like, I tricked you.
My bad, little bro.
And he's like, what?
God damn it. Stay got a
That's a big dude. That's a big old Michael Strahan type prime.
But
really?
he did walk out with him too. Like, all right, I got his back.
No, he didn't.
Oh, he didn't leave.
He left, but he walked out with a smile, like, "Oh, I'm about to see my brother get his ass beat." Like, ha ha. That's what he gets. That's what he gets.
That smirk.
Yeah.
If you ever do that to me, I will never forgive you.
Bruh.
Yeah, that smirk says, ha.
So,
Better you than me.
God, I mean, so, but again, this scene is a foreshadow. Because his brother stole the girl.
Yep. It all comes full circle.
See, that's amazing writing. It's like if you when you watch the movie again, you're like, oh my God, this like foreshadows everything.
As comedians, I would imagine that resonates more with you because of the callbacks and structuring jokes. Like, it works, you know. It's structured. Like there is a method to this madness. It's not just putting together some scenes that we think are hot. Like, there's literally talent and work that is done into pulling this together. I love to see it. This is also my favorite scene.
So then they got that record deal. So they get the record deal.
This wet curl.
This was
wet,
record
dry
deal?
curl.
I thought they got the record. Okay.
No, because they have to perform the song for the single.
That's right.
So it's not necessarily the record deal, but they're going to perform a single. They're going to record a single, and then because remember in that scene after that scene, that's when Big Red comes and he's like, "Yeah, if you need a record deal, just give me a call." And then he like walks away, and then the manager Jimmy comes in and says, "We're going to do this Saturday. We're going to record a single." So then he has to.
She sounds like she really sang this, bro.
She sounds like a baby Aretha Franklin.
Yeah, she did.
Was grooving with it. And who's cleaning up that room?
She is.
I would be so,
she should. She did at the end of it.
She was the one that was sleeping.
I'd be so mad. Like, he immediately when the song's open, he starts sweeping. She goes out the room and singing around the corner. But nonetheless, like, he's got fucking papers under pillows and drawers. Like,
but this is back in the day when all the kids stayed in the same room.
They had nowhere to go.
I did. We had a like a 6-bedroom house. There was 5 brothers, and 4 of us shared. We had 2 bunk beds in one room, and then baby brother had his own crib or whatever. But yeah, and my dad had his office. My mom we had a guest room. My mom had her closet room, but it was just she had so much clothes.
Y'all niggas was bunking.
But we was bunking.
Yeah,
but we was bunking
because it was business. They were trying to make that man. We gotta pay for
y'all
all this.
You'll get close.
I remember when they did the scene where they were listening to their song on the radio, and the dude had the little baby feet. The little baby's feet in his face. I'm like, this nigga about to have athlete's foot on his face.
We had to sleep like that when we visited my aunt's house, where it was head, toe, head. Yeah. So we had to do that before.
I like also in the scene, especially the scene where they have do the radio scene where they hear on the radio. It was a bunch of other people that came in that you didn't even know was in the house. It was the parents came in, and then like 4 other dudes came in, and then there was a baby that was there.
Do y'all have siblings?
I do.
Are y'all close to them like this? Like how they was in there?
Yeah.
I'm my younger brother.
One sister.
Yes.
Yeah, I have one sister.
We were spaced out pretty big.
Yeah, we were 2 years apart, and then my baby brother was like 8 years apart. Like, but other than that,
how many siblings do you have?
Yeah, I have 4 brothers.
That's right. You told the whole story. So 4 brothers.
Yeah, I'm the oldest of 5, and we were cool. We all got along, but we got along like we weren't like lovey-dovey brothers. It was like, all right, man, love you, and any of that. We showed love and like through sports. Like it was tough love.
I get it.
This looked like Batman. What scene is this?
Oh, so this is the scene. You want to say something, Jade? I'm sorry. You want to say something?
This is right on time actually, because from a music standpoint, like with this was when they gave us the record label. Yeah, the whole whitewashing the Five Horsemen, that whole scene, like it just drives me crazy. So I probably seen every doggone like black singing group rise to fame type of thing. You see this all the time historically. It's just like black folks make this great music, sounds good, but now we need to put a white face on it, whitewash it, steal the music, like Elvis, the whole rock and roll stuff.
Crazy.
Like it is wild how much stuff that has been invented, created by black folks that have been just straight out stolen.
Well, now it's the algorithms that's doing it now.
Bro,
It's the algorithms. When the oh, go ahead.
Don't Tell Comedy, shout out to them, love them to death. That every time they post one of my clips, like it got 31 million views, it got 18 million views.
Yeah.
And then when I post my own clip of me in it,
500.
if I get a couple tens of thousands. I'm like, but how? Why when they post me, it's millions, but when I post me, and it's been like that on different people who have reposted that same joke, and they might get like 1.8 million, and then I will repost it, and then I'll be like, why can't I blow up on my own clip?
Well, there's this thing that there's girls on TikTok that are lining their skin. They're using filters. There's this one girl that does what's the NPC thing?
Oh, that little dance thing?
Yeah, no, where she makes the noise where she's like,
yeah.
So she's black, but she's white on TikTok.
Oh,
shut up.
So people were like,
and it's going crazy.
And she has like a couple million followers, and then she comes out and she's like, yeah, so I'm really black.
Shut up. How does she fake white?
I gotta see this. It's like a filter that she has.
Click a button.
It's a filter that she has. So she goes and does live things, and she'll dress up like she dresses up. She dresses up like a Sailor Moon character or something. And she'll dress up, and then she'll be like, yeah, I'm really black. I'm really dark. And what's funny is, and this is how there's like a bias, because if like a black dude was like, I like light-skinned women, or I like blah, 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 but oh my God, you're being colorist. But when the sister is like, I'm lighting my face for money, everyone's like, well, at least she's getting money.
You gotta do what you gotta do, bro.
But that shows how like racist, like it's still a thing. The algorithm, like it's so hard for me to like get more followers and stuff, and I don't know necessarily what I'm trying to be, but I feel like that there's a preference, and that's what this scene made me think of.
Yeah.
Give it a sample. Whitewash yourself.
Do I watch myself?
Put a hat on and
here's
whitewash
something
yourself.
interesting.
See what happens.
So
I'm Connor.
I've done like over 50 national commercials.
That's a lot of commercials.
I've done well in commercials.
Got money, boy. Look at him.
So I'm able to get these cardigans. So, and what happened was maybe like 12, 13 years ago, I do this casting director's class. His name was Stuart Stone. He's no longer casting director, moved to like Denver. And I'm doing this class. He's like, Willie, you got an amazing look, blah, 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 blah. He's like, but if you want to book, and he's saying this in front of the whole class, there's maybe like 10 of us. He's like, but if you want to book more commercials, you're going to have to take the baritone out your voice, talk faster, enunciate, and maybe, put some glasses on. My glasses weren't real at first. And I need them now, but at first, when I first started wearing them, they were fake. And I remember making a joke in class. It wasn't a great joke. It was just like, what you want me to be, white? And he was like, you have to remember, everybody in these ad agencies are all white. All these production companies are all white. The advertisers are all white. And so when they're hearing this copy, because it takes 6 months to even make a commercial, and so when they're reading this out to themselves, they hear themselves.
Yes.
They see themselves. Even the casting sometimes will show this, and they're like, all right, now let's put a black person in here.
Bro, that's wild that you just said that. Like, all I can see right now is the same thing. It's that, remember we talk about representation matters? Mm-hmm. They look at it the same way. We're just using a black vessel to represent them. Well, that's wild. I never really thought of or saw that in a real life situation.
Most of my commercials, I have my glasses on, and most of my commercials, unless it was like a glare problem, they made me take it off. And like I even remember doing this Applebee's commercial. Oh, I wish you could pull it up. It's on iSpot.tv. And so I'm doing this commercial now. I'm the only black person in this commercial. It's one of those Applebee's spots where it's like all of us are sitting at a table and we're all eating and we're talking about these new items. And so it's like, oh, the Applebee's 2 for $20 million. I love it. Da 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 da. And so we do this. We do it. We do like 5-6 takes. And the director's like, cut. I can't figure this out. I don't understand what's wrong with just look at Willie real quick when he's doing it. Do it again. And the DP says, I know what it is. Bring out the Tay Diggs light. They called it the Tay
Diggs.
Because Tay Diggs is usually surrounded by all white people in a lot of his things. And so they have this special light that just focuses on me. So if I move, this person moves with me to keep the light on me so that we're all equally lit. And I'm over and I remember and even I had to change my voice up in this commercial. I was like, and this is the quesadilla burger. Yeah. And I was like, dang.
So Kevin Hart's voice with the Tay Diggs light.
Boy, I was out. You talking about I sold all the way out. Yeah, man.
I mean, doing that's not worse than all the drug addiction that we see within these artists and these films.
Yeah.
And how it tears apart the band, it tears apart the families. Cocaine Eddie Kane.
Oh.
When he came back with that nights like this. I mean, like, that'd be everybody's favorite part or whatever, most memorable line, but like, it's killing people, and there's so many fatalities that actually happen from drugs, and we're seeing, especially in artists and in actors and stuff. You got Jimi Hendrix, Jim Morrison, Elvis, Kurt Cobain, Whitney, David Ruffin. All these people dealing with drugs, and like, we've just got to normalize getting people the help that they need and being as supportive as possible.
Yeah.
So to the point you were talking about crossing over, which, by the way, how come I'm not getting any commercials? Anyway,
saw Ron T on there, and what's it? The Spectrum commercials?
Yeah,
all my Laugh Factory,
Tony Baker,
Comedy Club.
I was born to cross
to hear
over.
More. Yeah.
When I came out, I crossed over. Apparently, so here's the crossover scene where, and we'll skip ahead because you don't need to watch it. So this is basically what we're going through in the entertainment industry, basically. Either you have to be safe.
American fiction, bro.
American fiction. Either you have to be safe. Because the thing about it is, when I'm talking, see, look at this.
It's a white family on a beach.
For the 5 Heartbeats. Now, there's a difference because people think that selling out is talking like this, enunciating, talking whatever, right? But that's not what we're talking about, because they're scared of smart black people, especially smart black men, which is why American fiction is such an interesting story. If you're like if you're a man, a black man, and you're smart, and you really don't give a fuck about white women, and you really, you know what I mean? You don't give a fuck about, like, being around white people. You're really like, yo, I'm kind of like, I'm cool. I'm like HBCU. Like, I'm cool where I'm at.
Yeah.
It's, like, bothersome. Because the assimilation is also revolving around their feelings.
Yeah.
So that's why a scene like this, they're like, oh, no, we want... when anyone says... we want to get to all creeds, and that means they want to appeal to white people. So don't say anything offensive.
We just want a broader approach.
Because one of the reasons, and this is where you talk about why we got to cross over, and the main reason I'm thinking is because they say we don't want white housewives, because this was a problem back in the 50s and 60s. White men back in the 50s and 60s were like, we don't want our housewives to see black dudes
looking good, sounding good, moving good, thinking that they about to feel good.
Because they don't want we don't want them to sexually desire these men. So that's one of the reasons we don't want our daughters to see this. We don't want our wives to see this. So we need to put like a white family on the page with kids.
Yeah.
So that everyone knows that white families are the future. You know what that reminded me of? That reminded me of when Frankie Valli did that appearance on that one show, and he's like, and no one knew Frankie Lyman.
Yeah.
Nobody knew Frankie Lyman was black.
It's like, who is this?
So
who
he
is this
comes
little
out,
man?
He comes out and he's doing the song. He's like, why do fools fall in love? And look at all these white women.
Wait a minute.
When he came out, when they said his name, they were screaming. And then they saw him, they were like,
Yeah, that's funny.
We've been doofed.
I'm gonna have to do a reaction video to that.
So we move forward. Dude, what's his face? Bird goes to get his money from Big Red. And then Big Red says, my office hours are from 9 to 5.
9 to 5.
The famous Suge Knight scene.
You can't tell me that P. Diddy did not hang anyone over the balcony like they did to this guy. Like,
but we know Suge did it to Ice.
Suge did it, but
please no.
Look,
Please no.
And Big Red's doing it himself.
Yeah.
If you want something done right.
Bruh, now what are my office hours? 9 to 5.
And he made him say it.
Dog, the fact that his curl just sweats out like that pisses me off just looking at it. Like, why are you so loose like that?
Why your curl so loose?
I'm sick of it.
Pre-Soul Glow.
So, all right, go ahead. Sorry.
No, I was just saying pre-Soul Glow.
Pre-Soul Glow.
Man.
What is that? Juices and berries. We need to do Coming to America.
No, that's next. Well, not next, but that's coming up soon.
But one last thing, and I don't know, we'll probably plug it back in later, but nonetheless, Jimmy, the manager's wife, again, that foreshadowing early in the thing, and then like when you leave, you see the look. You know, a woman has that discerning spirit, like, yo, bro,
yeah, they do.
where you going? No, wait a minute, something ain't right. She looks at the elevator, she runs down 12 flights of stairs trying to save her man. Like, black women, boy, I'm telling you that you need a good black woman in your corner.
Yeah, because she knew it and she warned him.
There's warning, there's protection, there's love, there's nurturing. If we can just do something with all the attitude in the mouth, they'd be absolutely perfect. Absolutely perfect.
They got the preacher. They got the preacher from. They got the guy from. She's Gotta Have It.
Yeah.
But there was a foreshadow because remember before Big Red killed him, he's like, "Ooh, I like me some Eleanor." Yeah. And this dude's coming to the funeral trying to fuck.
That's a cold man
he
right there.
Some nuts right there.
He went right up to her. He's like, "Yo, you don't
need
to be
anything
alone tonight.
Let me be there."
She did knock the cool out of his step though. Big Red kind of walked out there. He didn't walk out as smooth as he walked in.
No, he didn't.
Like you could see the embarrassment and defeat on her.
And she goes, "How dare you come to my husband's funeral and disrespect him?"
Yeah, ain't even cold on the ground yet.
You trying to get some sweet potato pie?
Sweet potato pie.
And then eventually we know he goes to jail. But I could talk about this movie forever. I get the last scene that I want to kind of show. Is this it? When Leon's worried, when Eddie busts out because of his drugs, he basically, and now it's like, now they're older, they're in the 70s, they're basically doing disco. This is the Papa Was a Rolling Stone era of the Five Heartbeats. And Leon is like, I need women. I'm not getting women now because
he's taking all my cream.
Yeah.
So
look at him.
Flash.
So this is the Kiki Palmer Usher moment.
Bruh, it's so disrespectful.
Well, I mean, but they made the husband look like a loser.
Dog, he looked terrible.
could have shaped
one the partially balding head, and then just sitting there looking at like these two niggas sing to my woman. And just like, here's my number. Put that in your pocket. You gonna use it, nigga?
And she likes it.
I'm sitting here,
and she's not even like, no thanks. She's like, no thanks. I'm married,
bro. I think I would have slid him. Just real quick, like I don't think that I'm maturing, but I don't think I'm that good of a guy. God ain't done with me
but
yet.
he's not even trying.
Yeah, no.
Look,
I mean, he can't. What can he
got-
do?
He still got fuzz
Let it go.
on his head.
He's in the front row. He got to play it cool a little
He got
bit
a
as
George
much as he
Jefferson, He got
can.
mustache. He got fuzz on his bald spot. He's not even trying to be sexy.
See, I think this is different. Like comedians, when they talk about women in the audience, like, oh, that's your woman, blah blah blah, jokes about that,
Yeah.
different. This man said, "Oh, that's your husband." Well, not no more. Here's my number. Come holler at me, and I'm gonna sing to you, and I'm gonna watch you squirm in front of him. Like I'd have to hit him. Like my pride would not allow me not to leg sweep this dude.
Well, they also
I gotta
picked,
give him some.
They also picked the dude.
I gotta give him.
They also picked the dude that couldn't whoop their ass. So
She was bad though.
Yeah.
she was bad, and then dude leaves. He walks out.
Yeah.
She faints.
This
She's like,
bitch.
this bitch.
I'm out of here.
This bitch had an orgasm in front of me without, and I didn't have nothing
and I
to
had
do
no
with it.
pods. No pods.
I'm owed at least one cheat off of that. I need
So-
to cheat. I got to go out there to the
That's worth
strip.
two
I got to
hall
go.
passes.
That's
You
just-
embarrass me in front of thousands of people,
you see how many people behind us, babe?
and it's not a hall pass thing. Like so I'm a little different.
Yeah.
I feel like you can have a celebrity crush.
Yeah.
You get an opportunity with a celebrity, I'll forgive you, wife.
Yeah.
Period. Like few and far between. You're coming home, and I know he don't want you forever.
Yeah.
But like this is humiliating.
That's humiliating. My pride won't let me go.
This
home.
is humiliating.
So the Keke Palmer Usher thing, you like?
Now he might have went too far.
He did.
He
but
definitely.
You talking about the boy?
Yeah.
the boy Darius.
Darius.
Oh, that boy, wild man.
Way too far. Like he's got to take a page out of Stedman's book, bruh. Play your role.
Yeah.
I mean, Stedman,
Chill out.
Oprah gave Stedman his own house in the backyard. I don't know.
Bruh, I just
What
wish-
more do you want
I just-
from her?
I wish that Oprah would take me instead of Stedman.
Hey, Stedman ain't gonna be here forever, bro.
I feel
mean-
like I gotta be beige.
I mean,
though.
Oprah. We're almost like Oprah. Oprah takes baths in blood or something, like goat's blood or something, because they was like, "Oh, Oprah's gonna be here forever." So, long story short, they get into the Hall of Fame. They get the awards. You know, Eddie gets off drugs. He
Start singing in the choir.
He goes back. Choir boy goes back
Yeah.
to Let me say one thing about Choir Boy. I relate to Choir Boy because Choir Boy is me.
Yeah.
I grew up preacher's kid. I grew up Jehovah's Witness. I was also a preacher. My dad, very prominent position in the church. The same conversation that the father had with Choir Boy is the same conversation my father had with me.
Representation.
You can't serve two masters. How do I look trying to tell people what to do when you out here on stage cursing and talking about women and all that vulgar
And all that
mess?
vulgar, that booty cheeks.
And then he's like, "No, Dad, I'm gonna cry." And then I left my Bible next to the payphone.
Hey,
And then that's what happened, right? So
that's how it starts.
so then Choir Boy comes full circle. Choir Boy goes back. He brings Eddie with him. And hold on, just one last where I was actually just looking at. Where is it? Gosh. When you need something, like when you don't need something, it's there. But when you need something, it's not there no more. But anyway, I'll cut it in. We know what we're talking about. So anyway, Robert Townsend's still not married at the end of the movie. He's in this big house in Malibu.
That's the dream.
He's in this big house in Malibu. He finally reconciles with his brother because his brother stole his girl. His brother's married to a whole different woman.
Whole different
One
woman.
different woman.
So it's kind of like, well, what was the purpose of not getting married to the other? Well, maybe
it was the principal. And
it was the
deceit.
principal.
They could have just told.
Definitely.
We could have worked it out because she was fine.
Yeah, she was fine, but she also was.
Worked it out.
She was. I'm in love with him. I love you. I understand that, but I gotta watch it.
Yeah.
But while we're working on this, we can be mindful. So every time that we have a guest like yourself on, we do something called the hot seat. It's just an opportunity for our audience to learn a little bit more about you,
Yeah.
couple trending topics, couple core argument stuff.
Yeah.
We just want to get to the bottom of it. You can answer as quickly or as elaborately as you want to. It's all on you. So, when it comes to shoes, are we a checks guy or a stripes guy?
Ooh, that's funny. I like the comfort of the stripes, but
Like a gazelle. I could see you in a gazelle.
I love the gazelles. I love. I know people feel a way about this Yeezys. They super comfy. But there's nothing like a good pair of Jordan 1s. I'm a Jordan 1s and 77 Blazers guy. Like, those are my two checks. Like some of these newer Nikes, they are aight. But like, there's nothing like the 80s, early 90s Nikes that still do it for me.
So, you know what pissed me off? Adidas dropped the ball. They could have put all the Yeezys on sale for 50% off and just got rid of them. You just gonna recall them and do nothing?
What you mean? They did drop them. They stole them all in August.
Stole them?
Sold them.
Oh,
sold them. Yeah. I bought like 4 pair.
What size you wear?
Don't worry about it.
Okay, we'll talk about it later. All right, we talked about it earlier. Darius or Kiki? Whose side you on?
Oh, Kiki always, man.
Will or Jada?
Oh my God, neither. they both can jump off a cliff for me, man.
All right, Diddy or Cassie?
Ooh, I gotta say Cassie, only because I didn't know how foul Diddy was.
Yeah, he's wild.
I had zero idea. Like, no one told us about. I mean, we knew we knew some of the gay stuff. We knew some of the like his shady bit. Like people like, oh, he's the one that killed Biggie and Tupac. Yeah. Like we know some of that, but we didn't know like he was like he
lunatic.
He lunatic.
Crazy. Best fast food burger.
Oh man. Okay, so for me, it's
now,
between.
Before you answer this, I want you to think about it though. Like your number one fast food burger.
Dang.
Because I'm a judge.
Okay.
Go ahead.
I'm still gonna say fat burger. I love a good fat. I love a good fat burger. That's my go-to. When family's in town, everybody want to go to In-N-Out.
Yeah, trash.
Yeah, it's cool. But you ever had Steak and Shake?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's up there for me.
Okay. A
good smash burger.
No judgment here. Man. Favorite project that you've been involved in creatively?
It's between. I would have to say HGTV. Me and my brother had a show on HGTV, very short-lived, but it was fun to do a project because the money that I made in like commercials, I took home to St. Louis and bought properties, and HGTV gave us a show in 2020, and to do that with my family because it was like my brothers, my dad, and you know,
got to put everybody on.
Yeah, we put everybody on, and that was probably what got us canceled too because everybody was put on.
Too many niggas.
Too many niggas.
Way too many niggas trying to fix homes, but we don't believe you.
Yeah.
What do you do in your free time, man?
Outside of stand-up comedy, I play basketball, man. I'm at the court. I'm up there by myself. I'm a lefty, so I just sit there and I'm just shooting. So I have to be outdoors. Yeah. Like I'm an outdoors person. I go Joshua Tree. I look at the stars. Cause LA's so hectic, man. So I need escapes. So those are my escapes.
I'm here for it. Favorite TV show of all time?
All time. Okay, it's all time, so that means only one. I'm gonna get judged super hard for this. Let it
loose. What we got?
Seinfeld, man.
Okay, you're not gonna get judged. I mean,
I just enjoyed the writing of Seinfeld and just that it was a show about nothing. It wasn't like
there's no shows on TV where they gesture like there's no shows. I think they took a class. Yeah. Because the gestures on Seinfeld, they're very...
Yeah.
Oh, and another thing too, have you tried to emulate the George scene where he goes, she was cursing me out?
No.
So it's a scene where he walks in and he's like, yeah, she cursed me out. Right. She said, son of a boom, son of a thing. But he's like doing the shotgun and stuff. Mm-hmm. If you actually try to do that, the physicality with the lines, it's really hard to do.
I never even tried that. Now I gotta try it.
So it's like rubbing your head and rubbing your stomach and patting your head at the same time. Yeah. So the acting on Seinfeld is very well done, the way they execute the jokes and stuff. So
second one is Martin.
Okay, yeah.
So those are tied though for me.
Okay, respect.
Yeah,
respect. All right, let's talk about food. When it comes to grits, Salt and pepper or sugar and butter?
Sugar and butter.
Easy work.
Easy work.
LeBron or Jordan?
Ooh. Basketball wise, Jordan. Just everyday wise, LeBron all day. LeBron, someone I would kick it with.
You would want to kick it.
I would want to kick it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, LeBron, Ohio guy, man, I rock with him. The thing is, this man's been going almost 20 years with a flawless reputation.
Yeah.
Same black wife.
Yeah.
2 all-star kids.
Yeah.
That's out here playing. I love to see it. You got kids?
Yeah.
Whoopings or no whoopings?
Oh, I didn't whoop my son, but I wish I did. I wish I'd get your ass in this room for your.
You were the timeout generation. Did you start the timeout?
I did mental because I got spanked a lot, but so my punishment to my son wasn't good, but it was more like I did mind games on him. Like when he was like, "I'm running away from home." I'm like, all right, well, just be safe. Make sure nobody goes out there and rapes you. And this is a legit conversation I had with him. And he was like, what? He's like 14. And he was like, what? I'm like, yeah, man. And so I would play I would get in his hand. He'd be like, oh, just go to my room. And I'm like,
yeah.
You should do
Good
that.
move, bro. Yeah. All right, last thing before we get out of here. If there's one thing that you want the audience to know about you, your brand, what would it be? I want you to tell the people what they need to know.
I'm a single father. So I have my son. He lives with me. He's about to be 21 in a couple of months. And so most of my comedy is based off around raising a kid.
Yeah.
And just having an older kid that's taller than you. He can grow a beard. I can. And just like that weird father-son dynamic that we have. Like he gets girls so easily. You think No, you look up to my son, bro. He'll pull a chick, and I'm like, "How'd you get her?" He's like, "I just go outside." That's what he says to me. I just go outside.
This new generation is going to be better than us. Well, thank you so much for coming, Willie Mack. It's happy to have you on. Tell us just where we can follow you.
Follow me everywhere, Willie Mack, MACC, 2 C's. So Willie is WILLIE. There's a crazy amount of people that spell it with a Y. I didn't know people spelled it with a Y until I moved out here to California, because I guess maybe it's a South thing that
Willy Wonka.
Yeah.
Big Willie.
No, I think Big Willie
is
is
the IE. Yeah. So yeah.
Willy Wonka's all I got.
That's
it.
So yeah.
Easy work.
Easy work. All right, let me say that last part again, because it felt like it was just like a. So yeah, follow me on everything, Willie Mack, WILLIE MACC, and you can find me on a stand-up comedy club near you. Come check me out.
Nice.
Appreciate you, man.
Hell yeah.
Well, I'm your co-host, Jade Barnes.
I'm Keenan Jerome Floyd. Thank you so much for joining us. Follow the pod on Instagram at Kultur'd Pod, and YouTube, Spotify, Apple Music, all the places. Thank you for joining us.